Good evening. I'd like to call the Board of Selectmen meeting to order. First, we're gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we go on to citizens' comments, I make a motion, because we're missing an item here. I make a motion to add Main Street, Beach Pond Road sidewalks, discussion underneath Public Works report.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye. These were the items where we were going to take turns reading. It wasn't on the agenda, so.
Nice catch. All right, I'd like the approval for minutes from 4/6, 3/31, 3/17, and 3/10.
I've read the minutes from these meetings and I make a motion to approve all of the minutes.
I second to approve the minutes as written. Approve the minutes as written.
All in favor?
Aye.
Additions to the agenda?
Oh, I jumped the gun there. Sorry. Yep, we've already done that.
Yep.
Yep.
So, is there any additions to the agenda? No. Correspondence and announcements. The only announcement that we really have tonight is the budget updates. The public hearing on budget discussion will be Tuesday, April 28th at 6 o'clock, right here at Town Hall. And the annual town meeting will be at Voluntown Elementary School Gymnasium, Tuesday, May 26th at 7 o'clock. And now we're gonna do the Public Works report. We're gonna, I was talking to them this morning, they're gonna start crack filling on Chatucket, James Road and Gardner Road, April 20th, weather permitting. So, and they've been working on trying to clean up the town, so they started that also. Yeah, now we have the local traffic authority updates.
Well, we've got the item we added to the Public Works report.
No, that's the
The Main Street Beach Pond Road sidewalks.
okay, I'll put that on the Public Works and I'll leave that off.
Okay.
So Main Street Beach Pond Road sidewalks, this is combined grant from Transportation Rural Improvements Program, TRIP, and Community Connectivity Grant Program, CCGP, both administered by the CTDOT. This is a roughly $1,700,000 project where the town is responsible for engineering the design and state will pay for the construction. The scope is constructing a new sidewalk from the corner of Main Street and Church Street easterly along Main Street Beach Pond Road, including a pedestrian bridge over the Dennison Brook and walking path around Constitution Field. Engineering designs are nearly done and the town is under contract with Freeman Companies for this work, but the completion has been delayed by repeated staff changes at Freeman. We hope to have a final design in place in April and get final approval of the design from CTDOT for the construction on their road.
The Camden
Hold
Road
on. There's one more piece on that.
Yep.
on the back.
Follow-up meeting with Freeman before May and preparation of contract bidding materials for construction bidding to be assisted by Freeman. Construction is probably unlikely until spring 2027.
So Camden Road renovation.
I have a question on that. I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off, so. $1.7 million project is that the entirety of the grant, is the town on the hook for any of that, or is that before the grant? The town's responsible for engineering design, the
Yeah,
state will pay
yeah,
for
and then the
construction.
state's paying for construction. So, and John didn't put down the number for that, so we can find that out.
Yeah, I think it's in the capital improvements project, so, but it's, just since we're talking about it, that should be something that we add
Okay.
for,
I will have that for you.
for the next time we discuss that. Sorry, Sue, go ahead.
All right, so the Congdon Road renovation, this project is a small town economic assistance program. A grant with $1 million of state of Connecticut funds administered through the Connecticut DOT with a $200,000 local match. The project is to improve the drainage and repave the entirety of the Congdon Road from Route 49 to Brown Road. The contract between the DOT and the town is in place. We have determined that the relative simplicity of the work does not require a full set of engineering drawings, and a paving contractor would likely be able to manage the design construction together. Accordingly, we have confirmed that the town is able to use the vendor in place DIP system and contract directly with a pre-authorized contractor. The next step is working with Crystal Snyder, contact and seek quotes from preferred construction contractors for project scopes and construction. Scoping and construction.
The water study. This is a $250,000 planning grant in progress, funded by the Community Investment Fund, CIF, and administered by the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development, DECD. There is no local matching fund needed. The town has contracted with Kleinfelder Engineering to undertake the study, which is supported by a local ad hoc steering committee. The study is investigating the possibility of establishing two small public water service areas in town, one in the village center and the other on the south shore of Beach Pond, Bennett Circle area. The study will determine whether sufficient public water supply can be established and develop preliminary plans and cost estimates for future construction, which would have to be funded separately. Much of the investigation work is complete for the village area. Additional exploratory well testing needs to take place near Beach Pond. The property owned by Phil Belisle will be used for this exploration. It is important to note that this is not a construction project. The town is simply studying the issue to determine how complicated and costly the establishment of new limited water systems would be. Moving forward with either system would require a substantial grant from the state. The next steps. The town is waiting to hear back from the state on a proposed contract extension through the end of 2026. Well testing on the Belisle property has been contracted and will be scheduled for late April or early May. The town will likely hold two sets of public information sessions to present the preliminary results, one in June concerning the village center and one in July or August concerning Beach Pond.
Anything on that one? The Forge Hill Bridge, Forge Hill Road Bridge. This is a lot of people have been asking about too. This is a major project that will replace insufficient existing Forge Hill Road Bridge over the Patchbog River, including the installation of a temporary bridge while the old bridge is being removed and replaced. This project is an approximately $9 million funded entirely by the state, 20% entirely by the state, 20%, and federal government 80%. The town is only responsible for paying bills and being reimbursed for the expenditures and has a line of credit established for the cash flow. The project is being undertaken by our Arborio Construction and supervised by WNC Consulting Engineers, work from Connecticut DOT and CHA companies who manage the bridge design and construction contracting. The bridge design began in 2023 and construction staging started this month, April 2026.
All right, and the construction phase is now underway. And the town will have bi-weekly meetings with the construction team to ensure that the project stays on track, which we will bring up at the Board of Selectmen meeting every other week. And initial concerns about the neighbor interference have been addressed and are hopefully settled. Construction is anticipated to take the next 12 months and be completed in spring of 2027. If you have any questions of this matter, please contact me at the town hall.
And I'm gonna add just a little bit of background on this. So the Forge Hill Bridge, I think it's every 10 years that the DOT is required to evaluate every bridge in Connecticut. So there's a schedule that they follow.
Mhm.
And on the last one, it was rated fair. And basically the DOT told us that was on the bubble of it being rated fair. So this isn't something we can put off any longer.
Right,
It is, the DOT basically said, as long as you're working towards replacing this bridge, we'll keep rating it fair. And it was implied that if we stopped or delayed for any reason,
Right.
they were going to put the bridge in an mark it as an unsafe bridge, which could no longer be used starting immediately.
right.
So
This was the same bridge that the tractor trailer had an incident on.
It
as
was.
well, that further made it.
yes, it was. It hits the stanchion, the railing on the side and got stuck.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Do we have anything up while we're talking about that? Do we have anything up on the website so people know what the detours of the workarounds are for that area? I've been hearing a lot of chatter about that.
Not yet, but we can.
All
We
right.
will put it up. There's signs everywhere. There's signs on
Yeah.
65, there's signs everywhere, so.
And there was also one other thing on that. I was talking to the VES transportation coordinator, and she had mentioned that. I don't know if she heard it from you, Brian, or if it was from another source, that the temporary bridge was only gonna be rated for 15 tons. And for a full-size school bus to go over it, it needs to be rated for 16 tons.
Okay,
So that was a concern for, if it's only rated for 15 tons, then the school has to only run small buses, vans over it.
okay.
Either the short bus or the vans would be the only thing that could go over it, which adds additional complexity to
Right.
scheduling the school bus routes for next year.
So Friday, sorry. I talked to Pete Bracken and he told me that it's okay for buses, small trucks. So I'm gonna talk with him again tomorrow to make sure, double check.
Okay,
And then I'll let everybody know on the website or whatever. I'll put it up on the government.
okay, cool.
So, that should be okay, like dump trucks and all that, like they were saying, so. That should be okay, like trailer trucks, no, not a thing, but. Like I said, we're talking tomorrow, we're gonna meet tomorrow and then, me and Crystal will get together, we'll put something up together and put it on the website, so,
Cool.
okay?
So while they're doing construction on it, is it completely closed down?
No,
Okay, because I get a lot of questions about how people are gonna get to the boat launch.
There's gonna be a whole temporary bridge that's
Right.
built.
Yeah.
And that's what we were just
Is it-
talking
is it
about.
Next to it,
it's gonna be the left of the bridge,
right, I knew there was temporary, I didn't
Yeah.
know if it was half
so.
full, what the situation was.
Yeah, last week they started cutting down all the trees, now they're starting to mark everything, so it's gonna be going pretty good pretty soon.
It'll be
So,
some self-explanatory and no time.
but- Okay. Next, we have the finance director's report.
So, main update is budget preparation, obviously. Tony and I just came back from GFOA CT yesterday. And we did get some updates on what's going on with the governor's proposed budget. Brian and I have also been in communication with our senator and our House representative. The big sort of scoop for us is the pilot funds. The pilot funds were cut last year, but replaced by municipal revenue sharing this year. They've been cut with no replacement at this point. But we are working to either be held harmless, which just means that we would get the same allocation we got last year. Or, hopefully maybe even increase those funds, even if we don't do it through the pilot fund itself, but, through our other municipal aid. So we're keeping track of that. The budget session for the state closes, the first week of May, so we should have some kind of answers by then. But that affects our revenue stream going into the new fiscal year. I've at this point gotten all of the budget proposals back from all the departments. So we've entered all those numbers. Brian, has begun, sort of earmarking where we need to look at, where you as a team will need to look at, those amounts and what needs to be adjusted. And we are on track for the budget, public hearing, which as Brian mentioned, will be here. People can come in person, or watch online. And then the BES School Gymnasium is reserved for the town meeting and vote, which is scheduled for May 26th. But at the public hearing that happens here on April 28th, the budget will be out. People can come, they can look at it. We should be able to have something online for people. So if there are questions and things, we really want to encourage people to ask between the budget hearing and the town meeting, because that's our opportunity to answer questions and address concerns.
Well, it would be a good idea for us to be able to see the information ahead of time so that we understand what it is, to be able to answer questions and eliminate any problems possibly before that time period.
You mean the Board of Selectmen?
Yeah.
Yes, I have copies of the budget for you tonight, or at least the draft. But for the residents in town, rather than waiting all the way till the end of May to come with questions, it really would be super helpful for people to take a look early on, and
Absolutely.
we can address some of those concerns earlier. Fiscal year 25 audit, finally complete. There are copies available for review in the town clerk's office. There's also a copy on the library circulation desk. We've reported those audit results to the state, so we've closed that out just in time to begin the audit for fiscal year 26. And in terms of monthly financials, I'm continuing to monitor, week by week and month by month to make sure we're staying on track, to stay under budget for fiscal year 26. So we look good in terms of that goal. And that's all I have for you.
Thank you. You have any questions for him? Any
Nope.
questions for him? Thank you, Crystal. Yeah, no. The treasurer's report, Tony's here.
Yeah,
What is yours?
one for all of us. So one thing, I want to make, before I get into the report, one point of clarification. We currently don't have a line of credit. We're still working towards a line of credit. We have a preliminary proposal from one bank, and I've sent some additional information following up from a second bank to share some financial information. And now that we have audited financials, that was kind of slowing us down a bit. We're kind of doing a little back and forth and trying to answer some of those questions for them. So we should have that hopefully wrapped up sooner rather than later to cover those items. The other thing is, on last month's report, I had a small error. If you look on page, what's labeled page 3, we had a CD that came due, in February, and I neglected to include, it was like 4 days worth of interest. So the whopping change is $42 to the good that we have more in interest. But as I was going through looking at Marches and trying to tie some stuff out, it's like, wait a minute, I'm missing something here a little bit, so I found that. All that being said, pretty good March. The full month was $12,517, and that brings our year-to-date number up to $99,049. Comparing that to the prior March, last March was $10,971, and fiscal year to date was $109,077. So this March was a little bit better, and we're still behind last month, and we're not going to catch that number, what we did last year, and some of that, as I mentioned before, is less money to invest. We had, ARPA pay happened when it down over 5 years, so it's been exhausted. And the other part is we don't have a budget. So we have a budget for a month. We can't invest that money. So that was $18,000 to $20,000, depending on what the rates were that we didn't earn this year. Okay. Looking at the Centerville items here, The interest rate, on the FDIC insured pieces, this is not the CDs, this is just our savings accounts, if you will. Interest rate 301, the APY is 305, we earned $7,005. Year to date, that figure is 35,488. That is also including some money that is accrued. What does that mean? On the CDs, we're getting paid interest at maturity. Okay, so if it's a 30-day account, 1 month CD, then we kind of get paid every month, right? But if it's a 60-day CD, you would only get that interest at the very end when it matures. And that's what it said. I'm including the interest in the monthly reporting because in essence, it's owed us. Okay. The range on the CDs, if you kind of look at page 3, you can see where those things lie individually. 3.8 to 415 on some of the rates. And then looking at comparatively on stiff, the 30-day yield is 3.71, but that fluctuates daily, whereas the CDs are just like you and I, if we had a CD personally, you lock that in for a period of time. That 3.71 was slowly eroding with recent events. It's pretty much, it's been sticking in that 3.7 to 3.72 range. So with what we've been investing in CDs, we're picking up a few basis points. We're not going to get rich on that by any stretch of the imagination, but it's the right way of doing things. Let's see. Next blurb is we have some CDs that actually came due last week, and we rolled those over some smaller items. We have some money coming due early May, and those accounts are just going to be, the CDs will mature, they're going to close out. We'll get then our interest, we'll get the money put back into the general fund, and we will need that money for the rest of the year. Some of it will be used for the bridge. We need to carry, we're fronting that money and then we're turning around and requesting it back from the state. So we'll be working with Crystal and with John and filling out our planner and you folks. I'm sure you'll have some fun paper to sign off to get those monies reimbursed as quickly as possible. Federal Open Market Committee.
Tony, start,
Oh,
before you go on.
Yep.
So do we already have a line of credit lined up for the Forge Hill Bridge? Because Chris, like what you said that we did in your report, and Tony, you're saying we're still looking.
Yeah, on the piece that was there, and I'm not sure if it was just the difference of tense or whatnot. We've not signed off on a line of credit. We have a proposal from one bank, and we are hopefully we'll have a proposal very shortly from a second bank.
Rick's report, tonight's report.
No, it's
I
got
think
John.
I think it was in the John's or the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And
Somewhere it
probably
entered my head that someone had said he already had
Yeah.
a line of credit.
We've been working on this for a while.
I know.
John may think that we were, we're pretty close.
Yeah, the dilemma becomes, any of this stuff, they want a finalized audit. The longer that finalized audit takes to go, then they're looking at what our year-to-date numbers look like.
Yeah.
So the financial report that Crystal does that you guys see, that's what we shared with them. And now there's some little dancing back and forth like, hey, how come this is higher, this is lower, and that.
Got it.
So we're answering those questions. Hopefully we kind of put them to rest quickly and then we get a firmer proposal that we can chat about.
We're in the underwriting process. They're in the underwriting process right now.
Yeah, and then we'll play some games with, having legal counsel take a look at some of the paperwork and that type of stuff. So, hopefully in about a month, we should have something that's good that somebody can sign. And we'll go from there.
Okay.
Federal Open Market Committee, they met March 17th, 18th, and left rates alone. The next meeting is in a couple weeks, the 28th and 29th. Who knows what's gonna happen? I don't think they're gonna bump rates there. Right now, it looks like 1 or 2 more changes and they're kind of backloaded. They're probably gonna be towards in the fall or later in the year. Unless something happens in the meantime. Some people are kind of going the other way and saying, if inflation persists, we could see interest rates go up a little bit. So I think some of the stuff is temporary. Let's pray it is, and that we can move forward in a good fashion. And that's, I think that's one thing I got, everything I got, unless you guys have some questions for me.
No,
Thank you, Tony.
I'm good.
Thank you, Tony.
You're very welcome.
So do we have any old business? Tonight? No.
No.
Okay, new business. The reallocation of funds found. Yes. Crystal, what's the,
Are we talking couch cushions here? Are we talking a bank account we forgot about?
could you explain this?
What is that?
It's the, allocation.
Oh, yes, so, during last fiscal year, there was a grant that the school normally receives to pay for their school readiness, their preschool program. And the way that the record keeping is on that grant, there was an omission on an $8,000 transaction. So we got to the bottom of the spreadsheet, it looked like the numbers all added up, but in fact, there was, because of the omission, it created an imbalance in the grant, and so 8,000, that amount there was, reported in the grant, but it really needed to be a Board of Ed expense. So because we didn't know that until the end of the year, the Board of Ed budget was expended down to, I think it was like $10 and change. That expenditure needing to be moved back to the Board of Ed expenditures creates an $8,000 deficit in the Board of Ed budget. So the way that we clean up that deficit is to allocate the additional 8,000 for the Board of Education.
Questions on
I don't think I understand.
No.
So does the town have to give $8,000 to the school to clean up their budget? Or is
Yes.
this yes?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Now it clicks.
So monies that were,
no, I understand.
expenses were charged to a grant that weren't,
That shouldn't have been,
that weren't out.
right, that should
And
not
when that was-
have been.
When that was discovered, that wasn't discovered until the fall,
Yeah.
in which case,
Do we have the school's budget yet?
What's
Their
that?
proposed budget?
Yes, they have their budget hearings, that's out too also.
Good.
Thank you, Crystal.
Yep.
Okay, next we got is, each pass pricing. Last year we spent, $7,924 on security. Each passes were 5,970. 170 passes sold. So we were down like $2,000 for that. So this is what I say we leave the resident fee as is. And then we bump up the non-resident to 40 and 90.
I think it should be higher than that for non-residents.
I was high at 100. I go 100.
Yeah.
I'd say 50 and 100
Yeah.
for non-residents.
Yeah.
Okay,
That'll get us closer to breaking even on it, I think.
right.
Yeah, and we've never, in the past 8 years, we've never broken even.
Right.
So it's always been, we wound up paying a little bit out of town budget for having security there. It's
Right.
never been a break even thing.
Yeah.
So
Do you know from previous years, Skip, do we have a breakdown on the resident, non-resident
We-
passes sold?
we have that breakdown. We don't have it for tonight.
Right,
But it was, I'm gonna give you a very vague guess, from my memory of like, it's not huge, but like 75-25% split.
Yeah.
Like 25% non-residents
Mhm.
get beach passes.
Yeah.
So,
and they would probably come from what, Sterling and, Plainfield, probably
Rhode Island.
Griswold.
Yeah.
Exeter.
Oh, yeah.
So they're gonna have a little tougher time this year, the bridge work going too, so. It's gonna be, it might be a little like crazy around there this summer.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it most definitely will be. So that's good, I kind of make that 1,500, I would make a motion to approve this idea to raise the non-resident beach passes from daily passes from $30 to $50 and season passes from 80 to 100,
And keep the residents.
and keep the
The
residents
residents
the same, just
25.
carry it forward.
for the season and 15 for the day.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
I
Excuse me. Prior piece on the.
The Board of Ed.
Board of Ed.
Did you want to vote on that or?
Well, so, yeah, that's
Thank
why
you
I
for
was
bringing that
kind of thinking on that, is with the Board of Education thing, is there, being new to this, how do we recoup that? Since we're taking the whole, pretty much,
The money would come out of fund balance, at least to make it whole for that time. So it's just like if somebody overspent the money.
yeah,
So that's kind of the.
And what was the, do we have
It was
the, what the burn
8,000.
rate was? No, what's this Board of Ed's burn rate where they're at right now for their budget? Does this push them into the red?
Well, that money was, yeah, so that's for fiscal year 25, yeah, 24, 25, that was just audited.
and I think, Crystal, you said. that
Gotcha,
they
so
came like
this
almost
is
even at the end of the
The
year,
fiscal
right?
year ending
like
June
$10.
30th, 2025.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay,
So it wasn't discovered until September and October.
and you said they were down to $10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
right. So
Okay.
the additional appropriation on that sticky note is the wash. That's what we end up with.
Okay, but this keeps our books clean, And-
Exactly.
ensures that the Board of Ed is not in trouble for not
Yes.
accounting for
Yeah,
grant
the
money that
board
was
is,
spent.
because they're expense only, they cannot have a deficit.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions or
Nope.
concerns?
I'm assuming the difference between that number and the 84 is what they had left,
Right, but it's what, 83,
Yeah.
8903?
yeah,
Then I make a motion to appropriate the 838903 to the Board of Ed's 24-25 budget as discussed.
second,
All in favor?
I think keeping us on.
Thank you, taking action.
Otherwise, I'm gonna walk out going, they talked about it, but they didn't do anything.
Well,
We're still thinking about it.
It'll just be on the
the
next.
three of us were all kind of look, and it's like. Did I miss it? Or, oops, you know, there was discussion and then
Well, it's not like really we have a choice,
No, right.
unfortunately you were correct.
yeah.
And is it, I know we just voted on the motion, it was 83, what was your sticky there, Brian? I know you just go and did it. 838903,
Yep.
but I'm just noticing now that there's 840141.
So that was the amount of the error. So if you go to the back page it should show the fund balance at the end, like they're,
838903.
yeah, so it
Got it,
walks.
okay, so we just approved the right amount. Oh,
It'll zero them out all the way.
got it.
And we should say the upshot about that is that haven't done that, they are taking some steps to try to mitigate
Yes.
this in the future. And they're gonna be putting the grants, which is not completely, it's on an automated system, but it's gonna be more fully integrated with the regular general education budget. So this type of thing should pop up sooner if there's a misposting or something and not go on for a call.
This is what you and I talked about. Gotcha.
Hopefully that helps.
All right, on to the next one. Board of Ethics commitment. No. Did this come here from yesterday? It's the GFOA Code of Ethics.
Is this what you went to?
That's me. So, one of the things I'm doing is getting certified as a CFO. I don't know, I couldn't get those out. Certified Public Finance Officer. And that's through the GFOA, which is the Government Finance Officers of America. And one of the things that they recommend is that we post publicly for our residents to see that we do have a code of ethics. We do have ethical guidelines that we are following in our record keeping and in our, how we generate our budgets. And, so it's just really, a way to communicate our stance and our standards, in how we prepare our financial reporting, and it says we're gonna be honest.
Well, and provide, it's another level of transparency. that you're
Right.
trying to do. I mean, there's stuff requirements at the federal level, there's stuff requirements at the state level. I'm already a CPFO. And I brainwashed Crystal to
Certainly has.
to apply and to complete the program, but, yeah, I didn't realize that she put that in there, but, which is fine, which is great. And it's just basically some additional standards that we're gonna make every effort to adhere to.
So this is new,
Uh,
town hall, or is this been?
yeah, it's new for.
Yeah, we signed this before.
No,
It also gives us a guideline to sort of use as a measure when we're making decisions. Does this decision we're gonna make, does it abide by these ethical standards that we have? You know, we want to be transparent, we want to be good steward of the town's resources. And so it's really just a way for us to kind of codify that for our residents to understand what we hopefully have already been doing. But it's really just a commitment to continue to do that.
that done on it?
No.
Go with it,
Mhm.
we have a motion for this.
I make a motion that we, the town of Allentown formally adopt the code of ethics from the Government Finance Officers Association as identified here, be signed by the Board of Selectmen, the Finance Director, the Treasurer, and the Deputy Treasurer.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye,
aye,
sorry, I made it a mouthful.
All right, now we got review of board quorum requirements of FOIA training. You wanna take this?
So I wanted to make sure that the Board of Selectmen was aware of the Freedom of Information with Council, I believe it's Freedom of Information Council requirements on how our meetings are conducted, and what constitutes a quorum, since we are a 3-member board. It only takes 2 of us to constitute a quorum, so 2 of us can hold a legal meeting, but in order for it to be a legal meeting, it has to be publicly announced. How far in advance, Crystal?
Oh, damn. All right, but 24 hours in advance? or-
24 hours in advance, it's gotta be notified that we will be holding a public meeting. We have our regularly scheduled, twice a month meetings. But also, we've done quite a few, special meetings recently, as we discussed. So just to make sure that, we are following all the guidelines and not getting into trouble under anything, that we do, that would violate Freedom of Information Council requirements for public meetings. I see you've gotten a response here
Yes.
from the lawyer, so.
All right, so first of all, none of that will ever happen here. I don't know why this is being said tonight. I have no idea. But what I did was I contacted the lawyer and it said the 2 of you, which is me and Sue, are registered in the same party, can meet and discuss town business without having it be a meeting under FOIA, under the caucus exemption. So,
And that's my If our town lawyer's telling that, then that's my misunderstanding, because I did this training 8 years ago. Was the last time I was formally
I just wanted to
trained.
get this up because I have no idea why this is here tonight, and I told you and I told Sue. The three of us are here, we're doing this job together, so.
Yes,
We are not behind your back, I'm not behind her back, hopefully you guys ain't behind my back, so. We're all in this. together.
transparency,
So-
transparency is our key to
Right,
constituent trust. So
Right.
yes, I agree.
okay. Right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now, other business? Any other business?
I just wanted to say, I noticed that the wintertime little flags came down on Main Street. I was very happy to see that since we were in April already. They missed one day.
So here's the thing, they started doing it like a half day. And one of them is in training right now, so it's only one of them that's working.
Oh, they should have two people doing that.
So they need two people, because one gets in the truck and one's at the bottom. So next week, it'll be the street and the lot will be all set,
Nice,
so.
nice. That's good. I was happy to see that.
And I'm gonna challenge your assertion that they needed to come down for one simple reason. There's still 3 ski resorts open, so just
That's
saying,
it.
okay?
It was 80 degrees today.
That's it.
Do we have, I guess, under other business, something that we could talk about, since I know that it's gonna come up again as we move forward through the budget talks and everything, as far as the Memorial Day Parade and the 250 celebration
Yeah, well,
coming up.
me and Crystal have been scheduling stuff for the Memorial Day parade. We got a lot of stuff in place already. I gotta talk to the fire department. I gotta talk to, there's stuff that I don't deal with that they have to deal with. So we're in on that. And my idea is keeping with the budget and not blowing it up is, like Labor Day weekend, having the 250th. That way we have some, maybe a car show, some food trucks.
You do a car show, we can
No.
get revenue from that.
Yep, maybe,
So
maybe,
it'll hopefully pay for itself, maybe.
maybe like a flea market down there, maybe a beer garden. So we're looking
You're
into
just
things right now for it, so we're trying, so.
One of the things for the Memorial Day parade, I talked to some people over at the school about getting cheerleaders and student athletes to participate.
Yep.
Which when I was a kid, I always did, whether it was band, cheerleading, or whatever
Yep.
kind of gig I was involved in. And I think that I should know that by the next meeting, whether
Okay.
approval was given for the student
Okay.
athletes to be able to participate. I thought that was a great idea, maybe get some more people out with their parents, if their kids are in it.
Oh, yeah.
And, build some, bringing people together more.
Yeah, we got Brian already. Brian's gonna be in it. Brian Leno.
Yeah, oh, good.
So we got him already. I don't know about Heather. We can, figure that out.
Have we reached out to Heather on it?
I have not,
I can,
okay.
I'll do that.
I don't like I said. Me and Crystal are trying to do the best we can on this, but like the fire department and, everybody else can. Let us know what else is needed for this parade, like the
Yeah.
flags. Maybe, so.
Okay.
I was even thinking about, offering it up to like town businesses to put a small float in or something.
We've talked about floats in the past. And
No takers.
no takers. The best we've had was, we had,
I just have an idea.
a convertible
Yeah,
for, our Gold Star family.
we have an oxen team in town,
What?
an oxen team.
An oxen team. What do they tow? Do they tow a
They
wagon?
have a little cart that they could put in. We could maybe, I don't know, put something back in there.
I mean, we don't have any Shriners in town, so we don't have any little
Right,
cars and
we do
hats,
have an
but
oxen team.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to think. Do we have anybody that, could, horses, like out west, they have the rodeo riders that will come in and do things like that. We could, this one just came to me though. I won't. I'll see what I might be able to do with that.
Another thing is we got like somebody that's, one of the kids probably from the school is saying, Star Spangled Banner, I think it is.
Yeah,
So. And, maybe get two Star Spangled Banner and, you know. So,
I think the oxen will have to go at the end or what have to, somebody clean up too.
oh, this is a real auction.
Yeah, two. Two of them with a yoke and a cart and everything.
I had no idea where you were going with this, but, all right.
Doesn't get to a lot of agricultural
Yeah.
areas.
This is the first I heard of it. We just need to make it a little longer because I think people wait for it longer than it is.
Yeah,
So maybe we can, well,
Yep.
make it longer, you know, so. Maybe I have a couple of things like promo candy and, you know, and stuff like that, so.
yeah. Little things like that. If anybody's watching this and has any ideas, you can
Right, yeah.
absolutely reach out and give us some
Yep.
ideas.
Call us, shoot us a message, whatever. So,
That was all I had
all right,
on other
Okay.
business.
all right,
Then I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.